Hello everyone. Let's start with the chapter number 2, structure of atom. Before going to this chapter, I am going to define some basic definition. The first definition, that is matter. Matter, anything which occupies the space which has a mass, is known as matter. Matter is actually the combination of particles. That particles, it may be atoms, it may be ions, or it may be molecules. Once again, just give attention on board. Matter, anything which has a mass and occupies the space, is referred as matter. Matter is the combination of particles. Particles means it may be atoms, it may be ions and or molecules. Today we are going to study about some basic information about the atoms. The atom word is actually derived from the word atomia. Atomia, the meaning in English, it is uncuttable or indivisible. Atom. The proper definition of the atom is like this, that atom is the smallest particle of an element which possesses all the properties and characteristics of an element. Let's justify our definition. If I have a rod of iron, right? Suppose this one is an iron rod and this one is a magnet. If I kept magnet near to the iron rod, this iron rod and magnet shows the attraction and they attract. If I cut this iron rod in number of pieces, supposed to be like this, and then also I am continue with the same process, that I kept magnet nearer to them, then both the pieces will attract to the magnet. If I grinded this pieces in a powder form, a very fine powder, and keep magnet nearer to them, then also it shows the attraction. If I convert this tiny particles in a individual atom, now I have the atoms of iron, that is Fe, and if I keep magnet nearer to them, then also it shows the attraction. That means when I cut this rod in a atoms, then also atom shows the same identity like a iron rod, that is shows the property of attraction. So I can say that atom is the smallest particle of an element which possesses all the properties and characteristics of an element. Clear? Once again, if I have an iron rod and if I keep magnet nearer to them, then they shows the attraction. If I convert this iron rod in a very fine powder and keep the magnet nearer, then also it shows the attraction. Clear? Not even that, if I convert this fine powder particles into atoms of the iron, then also it shows the attraction. What does it mean? The atom of the Fe does not lose the property of iron. That means atom is the smallest particle of an element which possesses all the properties and characteristics of an element. Okay, let's write down. Once again, atom is the smallest particle of an element which possesses all the properties and characteristics of an element. Number of scientists try to explain the structure of atom. The first scientist, that was John Dalton, who gave the theory of the atom. It's also known as Dalton's atomic theory. We have to memorize some important points of Dalton's atomic theory. Once again, I am telling you, it's a theory of structure of atom. It is not a structure. He tried to explain the structure on base of theory. He never represent the model of the atom. Clear? So it's known as Dalton's atomic theory, and we have to memorize some important points of Dalton's atomic theory. According to Dalton, atom is the smallest part of an element. which is indivisible. That means we cannot cut the atom, we cannot divide the atom. Clear? That is according to Dalton's. The first point of Dalton's atomic theory is atom is the smallest particle which is indivisible or uncuttable. The second point of Dalton's atomic theory, all the atoms of the same elements are identical in all aspects, but they are differ from the atoms of other element. That means if I have a atom of copper, then all the atoms of coppers are same, and other side if I have the atoms of carbon, then all the atoms of carbons are same, but when we compare the atom of copper and atom of carbon, they are different. Clear? The point is said that all the atoms of the same elements are identical in all aspects, but they differ from the atoms of the other element. Third point of Dalton's atomic theory. Atoms get combined and they form molecules. As well as we can say that atoms can take part in a chemical reaction. Fourth point, in a compounds, the constituent particles, the number of that constituent particles, their weightage are always remain same. That means, how we elaborate this one? Suppose water have a formula H2O. That means 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen get combined and they form water molecule. Right? In any method, when we prepare the water, the constituent of the hydrogen molecule and oxygen molecule is remain same. The meaning of this particular point. Once again, according to the Daltons, in a compounds, the proportion of constituent particles, that means atoms, are always remain same. As for example, if we have a water molecule or water, it's formed by 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. If we prepare the water by any other method, not by direct reaction between hydrogen and oxygen, by any method when we prepared, then also the proportion of hydrogen and oxygen in a water molecule is remain same. That is 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. The meaning of this fourth point. Clear? And the fifth point, atom is electrically neutral. Okay, let's revise the whole theory. Dalton's atomic theory, the first atomic theory that was given by Dalton. The important points of them: atom is the smallest particle of an element which is indivisible or uncuttable. Atoms of the same elements are identical in all aspects, but they differ from the atoms of the other elements. Atoms get combined and form the molecules. Atoms are take part in a chemical reactions. Fourth point, in a compound, the proportion of constituents particles, that means atoms, are always remain same and constant. Atom is electrically neutral. These are the important points of the Dalton's atomic theory. Right? Dalton's, when he was represented this theory, he was able to explain the certain chemicals law. Which are the law? Then in a chapter number first, that we already studied about this law. I am just mentioning some important, that means the name of that law. Okay? Which was successfully explained on the basis of Dalton's atomic theory. The first law is law of conservation of mass. Second law, law of constant composition. Third, law of multiple proportion. Fourth, law of reciprocal. These are the law that was successfully explained by the Daltons. But a certain phenomena that was not explained by the Dalton's atomic theory. So Dalton atomic theory was not accepted after that. I am just giving you some idea of them. According to Dalton's, atom is indivisible, right? But we know the nuclear fission and fusion reaction, right? Nuclear fission reaction, nuclear bomb that is actually working on the principle of destruction of the atom, and according to Dalton, atom is indivisible. So I am telling that the certain phenomena, not certain, there are number of phenomena that was not able to explain by the Dalton's atomic theory. So Dalton atomic theory, after that, it was not accepted. In the next board work, we will see which are the cases that cannot explain based on the Dalton's atomic theory. Okay, please write down. Dalton was successfully able to explain the mentioned laws, that are law of conservation of mass, law of multiple proportion, law of constant composition, and law of reciprocal, which is also known as law of combining weights. This four law we will study in chapter number 1. Okay, now just give attention. But a certain phenomena in a nature that was not explained by accepting the Dalton's atomic theory. Which are the phenomena? Then lower standard, like first standard and second standard, right? We rub the scale with our dry hair like this. Then what we did? We kept that scale nearer to the pieces of paper, and that pieces of paper get attracted towards the scale. Now, why it's happened? The actual reason, when you rub the scale with your dry hair, that scale get electricity. Now, because of this electricity, the gas can attract the small pieces of paper. If atom is electrically neutral, then how can it get electricity? That means the atom of that scale, how it can accept or how can it get electricity? Clear or not? Second example, when the glass rod is rubbed with the fur, then also it attracts the pieces of paper. Third example, the law of electrolysis that was given by Michael Faraday, that was not explained by the Dalton's atomic theory. Nuclear fusion and nuclear fission reaction, that is also not explained by the Dalton's atomic theory. Yes or no? In a nuclear fission reaction, what happened? We destruct the nucleus by bombarding the neutron on the uranium atom, and it's give the lots of amount of the energy. That is the principle of nuclear bomb, right? So if atom is indivisible, then how it can be give the nuclear fission or fusion reaction, right? So Dalton atomic theory was not accepted. Clear? I am mentioning this some cases which were not explained by accepting the Dalton's atomic theory. Okay, that we already discussed. The first phenomena, as we discussed, when glass rod or ebonite rubbed with the fur, then it gets electricity and attract the pieces of paper, right? As we discussed that if the atom is electrically neutral, then how it can be possible the atoms of glass rod or ebonite get electricity, right or wrong? Second, Michael Faraday gave the law of electrolysis. That we know, electrolysis, when electricity is passing through the electrode which are dipped in a solution, due to the redox reaction, products are obtained at electrode, and this phenomena is known as electrolysis, and the cell is known as electrolytic cell. Just for your information and recall your 10th standard, electrolysis of copper, purification of copper. In that phenomena, when we attach the battery, then battery give the current to the impure copper. Impure copper gets oxidized, and that after it's get reduced from the solution and deposited on the pure copper. That is a purification of copper. And if atom is electrically neutral, then how it can be release the electron? Yes or no? Clear? So this phenomena was not able to explain by accepting the Dalton's atomic theory. So in a textbook they mention Michael Faraday law of electrolysis cannot be explained by accept the Dalton's atomic theory. Third, according to Dalton's atomic theory, atom is the smallest particle and it is indivisible or uncuttable. If the atom is the last particle of an element, then the further destruction of atom is not possible. But nuclear fission and nuclear fusion reaction prove that atom is divisible. Let's revise the whole topic. The phenomena which were not explained by the accepting the Dalton's atomic theories are: the first, when the glass rod or ebonite rub with the fur, then it gets electricity. That was not explained by the Dalton's atomic theory. How can we say that? According to Dalton's atomic theory, atom is electrically neutral, and if it is a neutral, then how can it gets the electricity? Clear? So that phenomena cannot be explained. Law of electrolysis, that was not able to explain by the Dalton's atomic theory. According to Dalton's atomic theory, atom is indivisible or uncuttable. That means the destruction of atom is not possible. But in a modern science, the nuclear fission and fusion reactions are there, which shows the destruction of atom. That means this phenomena, actually there are a number of phenomena, but we are just mentioning 3 out of them that are not explained by accepting the Dalton's atomic theory. Clear? Okay. And just write down the definition of electrolysis just for your information, nothing else. When electrodes are dipped in a solution called electrolytes and connected to the battery, the electricity is passing through the cell. Due to the redox reaction, products are obtained at electrode. This phenomena is known as electrolysis. Clear? This is just for your information. Okay. Number of scientists try to explain the structure of atom. In a modern science, the structure of atom is accepted like this. The structure of atom can be divided in 2 parts. One, the nucleus, and other part, that is the outer part of the nucleus, which is known as orbit. Atom can be divided in 2 parts. First is the nucleus, second extranuclear part. Nucleus is very small compared to the whole atom. It contains 2 particles, fundamental particles. One is proton, that is symbol is P plus. Another one is neutron, and electron is in an extranuclear part, which is continuously revolving around the nucleus in a either clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction. Clear? Okay. Electron is rotate around the nucleus in a circular path. That circular path is known as orbit. Clear? Once again, electron can rotate either in a clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction. The circular path in which electron rotate around the nucleus is known as orbit. As we discussed, electrons are revolving around the nucleus in a circular path, either in clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction. The circular path is known as orbit. Clear? So these are the basic information, or you can say that introduction of the chapter. In next lecture, that we will study about the discovery of electrons and cathode ray tube. Please write down.